print the money, and that is the source of so much trouble. It's the source of the business cycle. It's price fixing. It's fixing the value and the price of money. It distorts allocation of credit, and the credit allocation becomes dominated by members of Congress and what Congress does, but also secretly by the Federal Reserve. And they make plenty of mistakes. They created the crisis, and then they made it worse by giving the bailouts to the very people who were ripping us off from the bubble that they were involved in. Right now, I've been talking a lot about how your obligations are going to grow because actually Europe's in a little worse shape than we are financially. But the whole world is in trouble financially because it's the biggest financial bubble in the history of the world. And it's all based on the fiat dollar. Because it's a dollar-denominated world currency, we were able to issue the currency. It's sort of like being able to issue the gold. So all the other currencies use the dollar as the base. And therefore, they have inflated in a distorted thing. And a typical example to understand that is what's happening in Greece. We're in the middle of that mess over there. And I've always said, and I continue to be convinced it's happening, that is, you will get the burden of bailing out Europe. And that is the reason that we have to know exactly what the Federal Reserve is doing, get control of the Federal Reserve, have an audit of the Federal Reserve, and find out who they're bailing out. And the reason they will be bailed out is because the establishments have too much at stake. It's the Goldman Sachs and the banks of the world and the big corporations, the military-industrial complex. They all have a lot at stake. So they got a lot of bailouts in 07 and 08 and 09, but a lot of it occurred in the open, but a lot occurred secretly. The Federal Reserve was involved with $15 trillion of churning of new credit when the crisis hit. Over half of it went to foreign central banks and foreign governments. They deserve nothing. That money should have been left here. It shouldn't have been inflation because you're suffering from the consequence of the inflation.